Hello and welcome to Easy Cooking. We've been quarantined for a little bit, so I figured I'll make a sweet dessert to kind of get our minds off of what's going on. We're going to make a sweet dessert that's very popular in my country around the Christmas holidays. Even though it's not Christmas, we're still going to make it because it's good. It's called sweet salami, but for the purposes of giving you an idea of what it is, it's more so like a no-bake cookie log, if you want to think of it that way. Let's see what we need as far as ingredients and then we can get started. For today's recipe, we need cocoa powder, powdered sugar, milk, melted butter, vanilla, tea cookies, and crushed walnuts. I do prefer walnuts to pecans, so I try to stick to that if you're going to make it at home the first time. I'm going to clean my work area to start. And as always, this is a very easy recipe. First, I already have my walnuts crushed. You can buy them pre-crushed or you can crush them yourself, it doesn't matter. So next thing we'll do is I'm going to crush my tea cookies. You can really find them in any store. They're not too sweet. Some people call them tea biscuits, tea cookies, whatever you want to name it. And we're going to start with this. I may have actually my bag a little too full, but we'll see, hopefully not. Get some of the air out and see if that's going to work out better. Alright, it's working out pretty good. I'm going to get some more air out of here. It's easier that way. It's a really quick recipe and it doesn't take too long to prepare. Now you can really crush those any way you want. Some people prefer it to have bigger chunks. I prefer to have my cookies crushed a lot more than not. It's a personal preference. It will come out okay regardless. This is what comes out at the end. And we're going to mix it right in the nuts. Following that, we are going to throw our powdered sugar right in the mixture. We're going to do our cocoa powder. And we're going to mix it real quick before we put any of our wet ingredients. That way we ensure that our dry ingredients are mixed well, because once we throw anything wet, that really slows down everything else as far as mixing the sugar and the cocoa powder. So it's a good rule when you're baking or when you're making non-baked desserts, make sure the dries are mixed first. Okay, actually I do need to warm up my milk. We want our milk to be hot when we throw it in there. Put our vanilla while waiting for that. And of course, do that. Not a big deal. We're going to put our milk, or not milk, but butter. Awesome. And this is actually a family favorite. I've made it even for my coworkers a few times and they love it. Should be enough. We'll put our milk right in. There's not a whole lot to it. And then we're just gonna mix everything. Make sure to mix it well. You don't want to have any dry ingredients left in there. Just about done. And then we're ready for our next step. So this is what you want to end up with as far as mixture. It's nice and it's kind of like dough in a way. What you need to do at this point of time, because everything is hot and it's going to be hard to mold, you want to throw it in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes to let that butter harden a little, and then we're going to continue. It's been about 15 minutes and we'll get this out. So for our next step, we're going to get some parchment. Oh yes, yep, sorry. Just wanted to kind of show you how it's nice and thick now. For next step, we're going to get some parchment paper. And you can be as generous as you want because you want to make sure to do it right. We're going to get some grease because we want it to be greased up. And now the fun begins. Now you're just working with it like you normally would with any dough. I'm gonna scoop it right on the parchment paper. Carefully, you don't want to end up having it on the floor, of course, like I may be. I'm not too careful. Perfect. Get the whole thing here. Okay. Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, you can really eat it right now too. And it's really good. But the point is, we're going to make a log. So we're going to start rotating it, or I don't know what you call this, but let's start making a log. We're going to squeeze it. We're going to do that a few times. It really helps if you squeeze in the middle first. That redistributes everything else to the side, and then squeeze along. You can kind of see how it starts to shape up. Oh my goodness, yes. I'm doing because I'm grabbing the ends here and I'm kind of pushing on the end. You can see what it's starting to look like a little bit. We're going to do that one more time here. And I think this should be good, so we're going to wrap it up. Squeeze the ends again. Yep, so we're gonna just wrap it like this. We're gonna tie our ends. And this is the reason we call it sweet salami. As you can see, it pretty much takes the shape of a salami. You can call it cookie log, you can call it whatever you want. At this point of time, I am gonna let this delicious goodness sit in the fridge for a good hour before I start cutting into it. I'll be back with you later. This is what we have. It's really good, it's delicious. Sticking it back in the fridge, let it sit for an hour. You want that butter to really get nice and solid. It's been an hour and our cookie log is ready. I'm actually super excited because I'm hungry. I always get hungry when I cook, so that's no surprise. Especially to my wife. Oh my goodness. This is what it's supposed to look like at the end, and you just slice it. I'll slice some more in a minute, but I just want to try it, see how it is. It's really good. The good part is it actually has less calories than most desserts because the tea cookies don't have a whole lot of calories to them. It's not very, how should I say, it's not very heavy. It's not very so sweet that you can only have a piece. You can actually have 2-3 pieces and still be okay. So I'll cut myself a little bit more. You guys enjoy your night. Let me know if you like it. Feel free to put pictures and comments, and we'll be back with you next week.